Hi, this is Miss Kirk, and this is IN-8, which is line graphs. And so we're going to talk about line graphs today, and we're going to talk about how kind of they are a lot like the coordinate graphing that we have been doing in previous chapters. So let's talk about line graphs. It says line graphs use line segments to connect data points. So it's another way of displaying information. Okay, and then we'll also talk about trends. It's either showing an increase or a decrease. It's like a pattern that shows an increase or a decrease in our line graph. So as we graph this today, we're going to see if there's a trend that's increasing or a trend that's decreasing in this line graph. So you'll notice over here I have a chart, and it says total rainfall. And then it also says hours afternoon and rainfall in millimeters. And it says that at 0 hours afternoon, there was 0 millimeters of rainfall. But 2 hours afternoon, there was 4 millimeters of rainfall. And 4 hours afternoon, there was 8 millimeters of rainfall. And at 6 hours afternoon, there was 11 millimeters of rainfall. We're actually going to take the data from this chart and we're going to put it onto our line graph. And we're going to do it very much like coordinate graphing. We're going to be graphing coordinate pairs. These are going to be our ones on the x-axis, and these are going to be our ones on the y. And if you look over here, you can actually see I've already labeled it. My x-axis is hours afternoon, and my y-axis is rain in millimeters. I've also given it a title. All line graphs need to have their x-axis labeled, their y-axis labeled, and it needs a title. So this could be like my first ordered pair, 0, 0. So at 0, 0, I'm going to graph my first point. I go 0 over and 0 up. That's my first point. Then my next one would be 2, 4. So I'm going to go over 2 and up 4. And you'll notice that I use the same intervals for both for the x I use this common interval, and for the y I used a common interval. For the x I went up by 1, for the y I went up by 2. And that's just because of the nature of the data that we're using. It was best to go up by 1 here and best to go up by 2 here. So I'm going to go 2 over, and then I'm going to go 4 up. And that would be my next point. Now it says that it uses line segments to connect the data. So what am I going to do? I'm going to connect this data using a line segment. Okay, then look at the next one, 4, 8. So I'm going to go over 4 and I'm going to go up to 8. Hopefully I'm doing this. It's very hard to see when I'm trying to do this way. Yep, I got it. Okay, and I'm going to connect that. And then the last one I'm going to do is 6, 11. So I'm going to go over to 6, and then, ooh, I only have 10 and 12 here. Well, 11 would be in between 10 and 12. So 11 would be right here, because it's in between 10 and 12. So it won't always be that your data will fall exactly on a point, because in this case it didn't fall on 10 and it didn't fall on 12, it fell in between them. But we can notice a trend here. Is my trend increasing or decreasing? In this case, my trend is increasing. And what that means is as the hours increase, the amount of rainfall is increasing as well, which makes sense. As you know, you get longer into the day and it continues to rain, you're going to have more rainfall. So this trend is an increase. A trend that was a decrease might start way up at the top here and start working its way down. You know, that might be Miss Kirk's bank account after she sees all the goodies that she wants. You know, it started way up here, and then as she saw more and more stuff she liked, it went way down here until she's left with nothing and she's crying over in a corner. Okay? But other than that, that's a line graph. I have the title at the top. I have both the x and y axis labeled. I'm connecting the dots with line segments, and I'm showing a trend in my data. You're going to work with line graphs this week on IXL. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.